All right, what's up, guys? I have a pomade review for you today. Today we're looking at a new school water-based pomade by Duke Cannon. It's called Hurricane Hold Pomade. It's probably the proper logo there. Hurricane Hold News Anchor Pomade, whatever that means. Maximum hold, matte finish. So, this is a water-based pomade. It uses plant-based thickeners instead of petrolatum. It does have beeswax in it. Most of these things that are listed in the ingredients are chemical names. There is lanolin in here. So they do have a few old school ingredients, but it's mostly new school stuff, and it's water-based. It's designed to go in and to wash out at the end of the day. So just want to say about this brand, Duke Cannon, I've used a few of their products. I'm pretty impressed with them so far. I did a review a while back, here it is, on their Best Damn Beard Balm, which I actually used as hair grease, even though it's for your beard. There's not much left, but it's kind of a light hold type of thing, but it works as a top coat or if you already have some buildup. So, and it smells really good too. Let's dig into this here real quick. It's pretty thick. It comes out very creamy. I probably used more than I need to for, let me get these glasses off. I probably used more than I need to, but so it spreads very easily in the hands. Most new school plant-based, water-based pomades do. I'm putting this into dry hair. You can put it into wet or dry hair. I just got my hair cut recently in a ducktail again. Goes in the hair pretty easily, it spreads well. Has kind of a tacky feel as it goes in, which is probably good in the whole department. You do really have to work it across the hair from roots to ends. Takes a little time. Like I said, I used this once before, and I was actually kind of impressed that it worked as well as it did. Big comb. Let's comb this in and see where we are. Normally I like to apply most pomades to wet hair because they can have a drying effect, especially the oil-based ones. They actually block moisture out of the hair if you put it in dry. You can do it now and then. I've done it and it works, it will perform, but you don't want to do it all the time because it will, over time, it will have a tendency to dry out your hair. So, we'll see how well this works. So I can already feel that some things are awry in back. I don't know if you can see there. I'll try to turn to the side. My ducktail is seriously like a tail. Okay, the back of my head is looking more like a 1930s auburn than a ducktail. So just have to play with it a little bit. I'm gonna get some really hot water going here. Now, usually with oil-based pomades, I found if you put the grease in and your hair is sticking out, you kind of have to go do a reset, run your hair under hot water, dry it, and start again. We're going to see if we can do this with the comb. So a couple of things that I'm noticing right off the bat. The hold is decent on the sides, not so much so on the front. I could probably add a little more maybe. It does seem to add some weight to the hair without adding as much hold as I would like. So that's a consideration. If you don't have crazy long hair like I do, my hair is, as you saw at the beginning of the video, is pretty long without pomade in it. If you have a shorter pompadour, more of a clipper cut pompadour, high and tight type of thing, you could probably get away with using one of these types of pomades, at least for part of the week, just to give your hair and your scalp a break. But overall, I mean, I'm not getting a lot of height out of this, but I don't get a lot of height anymore anyway. But overall, I think this works pretty well, actually. Pompadour looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the back here. I'm gonna do my little fold that I do in the back. See how we're looking here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this. The back looks pretty good. The ducktail is not perfect. I wish there was a little more tuckage on top. I think part of that is just where my cut is right now. A little better. And of course, I'm going to get the fold in there so that cowlick doesn't show. That's better. So all in all, not too bad. I still have a little bit of flare in the back. I could correct that with, like I said, if I took a shower first or I wet my hair under hot water and kind of started again, I could correct that. That's an easy thing to correct. If you're like me, you have longer hair and you wake up in the morning, your hair, especially if you sleep on your back or your side, your hair is just kind of going all different ways, and especially in the back, it's been smashed and, you know, moved out of place and held there all night while your hot noggin basically irons it into place. So you do need some heat and some moisture followed by some product to reposition that, to reset it for the day. So that's something to bear in mind as you consider whether you want to do a wet or a dry application. Now, if your hair is not misbehaving like that, or you've recently showered and it hasn't been slept on, you might be able to get away with a dry application a little more frequently. So I do have some flyaways on the sides. I notice there's some looseness there. So what I'm going to do, since I got you guys on the wire, as it were, I'm going to take another gob of this stuff. I always say start with less and add to it because it can't take it away without washing it. Let's add a little more and see if we can tighten up some of these areas that are still causing problems. With any hair product that you use, doesn't matter if it's an old school pomade, light, heavy, greasy, matte, whether it's a clay, whether it's one of these waxes or water-based pomades, they all perform differently. Every brand and variety formulation performs differently, so you have to experiment with them. You have to learn how they, first of all, how they work as a product, and then how they work with your particular hair. So we're feeling especially tacky now. It's one thing I will say about this, I'm going to see how it feels when it dries, but at least on the initial application, I'm not crazy about how tacky this feels. It's not quite as bad as Murray's, but it's a little bit stickier than I prefer. I like my hair to have more of a soft feel. So a little bit more seems to be improving the hold. A lot, actually. Much better. Let's mess with the back a bit. Appreciate you guys bearing with me. There we go. Ducktail's looking better. Much better. All right, so we still got a little bit of flare in the back. Might just be a bad hair today. But overall, I feel like this stuff works pretty well. So if you're looking for kind of a water-based or new school alternative, you want to do a classic 50s style pompadour or ducktail, you can, trying to escape these thousands of loose hairs, you can have success with something like this. It is a little pricier. I forget what I paid for this, but I think it was around 12 or 13 bucks for, how many ounces is this? So 4.6 ounces, so it's a little bit larger than your standard 3 or 4 ounce can of pomade, but it might not go as far because you might have to use a little more of it. But as contemporary products go, it's pretty reasonably priced still. It's not uncommon, I find, with a lot of these store-bought water-based pomades to get a size about like this, about 4.5 ounces, and have it be 15, 20, 25 bucks. They can get expensive. That's another reason that I really haven't delved into a lot of the new school water-based pomades that much, but they're getting more affordable. So check out Duke Cannon and their Hurricane Hold News Anchor pomade, because it can anchor your pompadour fairly well. It's feeling a little bit less tacky as it's getting worked through, so hopefully this will have more of a soft, touchable finish by the time we're done. I'll have to put something in the comments about that as I go through the day. But overall, I'm really pleased with this. And the best part is I don't feel greasy. That's a deal breaker for some of you cats out there. You know, keep an open mind, try stuff out. You can always go back to your standbys if something doesn't work. But I've always had the mindset with pomade that I like to experiment, I like to try stuff. I'm always looking for something new for the next big thing. And you know, this is great because I can put this in, go to work, come home at night, take a shower, and all or most of it will wash out, start over the next day. Probably still get a little bit of buildup from these kinds. I don't know. I'll have to watch for that too, but not like an oil-based pomade. So let me know what you guys think. Have you tried this pomade? Have you tried water-based pomades? Have you had much success with them? Do you like them? And would you be willing, if you're like an old school greaser, to kind of experiment with some? Even just as a way of kind of giving your head a little bit of a break from the petroleum products. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for checking in. If you like this video and my other content, please like this video and subscribe and share it with your friends so that I can build my subscriber count and grow my channel. I can continue to provide you good content. Appreciate you guys. God bless. Later.